up, Spencer? My name is Everybody, and welcome back to my channel. One of my favorite genres is historical fiction. I love being able to learn about history through the eyes of the people who experienced it. And while I enjoy all historical fiction, my favorite time period to read about is definitely World War II. There were just so many different aspects to it, from the different politics around the war, to what it was like living in the camps, to how people escaped and survived, and what it was like being a German citizen at this time. So, here are 6 of my favorite World War II historical fiction books. First up, I have All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This book follows the story of 2 kids on opposite sides of the war. Marie-Laure lives with her father, who runs the France National History Museum. When she is 6, Marie-Laure loses her eyesight, which leads her father to build a miniature-scale version of the neighborhood so that she can learn how to navigate it and get home from school. When Nazis occupy Paris, she and her father escape with one of the National History Museum's most important possessions. In Germany, an orphan named Werner becomes an expert at fixing radios, which leads him getting a scholarship at a Hitler Youth School. Receiving a special assignment, Werner sets out into the war and learns about the casualty of human life along the way. When I first read this book, I was confused about how the 2 stories connected until the very end, but once I understood, I liked it and the book enough that I actually wanted to go back so that I could see all of the little pieces that I had missed along the way. And I'm typically someone who doesn't like to go back and reread books, so that tells you how much I liked this one. Next up, we have The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. After burying her brother, Liesl Meminger steals the first book that will label her as the book thief, The Grave Digger's Handbook. Being sent to live with a foster family, Liesl continues in her book thievery, going as far as to steal books from Nazi burning piles. Things get even more dangerous when her foster family decides to hide a Jewish man in the basement, and there is only so much longer they can go before somebody gets caught. I find that the most interesting aspect about this book is that it is told from the point of view of Death. Obviously, Death is very busy during World War II, and he does not discriminate. So the way that it is told is such a unique way to go about telling a story during this particular time period. Next, I have Orphan Monster Spy by Matt Colleen. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jewess, Sarah is mourning the death of her mother and barely staying alive, relying solely on the acting skills that her mother taught her. After meeting a scientist and befriending him and learning that he is a spy, Sarah agrees to use her skills to go undercover at a Hitler Youth School for girls in order to steal blueprints for a bomb that could change the course of the entire war. I really liked this book because it has that exciting James Bond-esque vibe, a strong female character, and it's also an interesting aspect to have a character trying to be true to themselves while simultaneously pretending to hate their people. Next, we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This story follows 2 sisters in Nazi-occupied France in 1939. They're living the best they can when they are unexpectedly forced to house a Nazi officer. And the 2 sisters are both dealing with this in their own way. The older sister, Vianne, is concerned with nothing other than keeping her daughter safe, and the younger sister, Isabel, is going about things in her own way, trying to find ways that she can help France resist. As the book goes on, both sisters learn how to fight the Nazis in their own way. I really like this book, and it has won a lot of awards, and I think it really deserves it because it really focuses on women's role in the war. A lot of times women are overlooked, and they use that to their advantage, being able to sneak messages in their bread baskets and do all of these little things because men would always assume that soldiers and spies are going to be men and overlook women and girls more often. So I think for this book to focus on what exactly women have done to help the war in this way was a really great story. Next up is Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. This book takes place in the winter of 1945 and is following 4 refugees as they are escaping those who are hunting them. Joanna is a Lithuanian nurse. Florian is a Prussian soldier escaping Nazis by hiding a precious treasure. Amelia is on the verge of giving birth, and Albert is a Nazi with delusions of grandeur. Little do these 4 know is that they are about to be a part of a tragedy that is 6 times deadlier than that of the Titanic. I loved this book because it covers a topic that I can't believe I didn't know about before, and this is what I mean about learning about history through books like this. A civilian ship was hit by a torpedo from a submarine, and thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people died, and this is the first time I'm ever hearing of it. How is the Titanic known but not this? And last but not least is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. That's right, Ruta writes so nice she's on here twice. This book takes place in Lithuania of 1941 and follows a 15-year-old girl named Lena, whose biggest concern is preparing for art school. But one night, the Soviet secret police show up on her doorstep and take her, her mother, and her brother and throw them on a cattle car to Siberia. Now, Lena's biggest concern is staying alive day to day. This book was insane because the Soviet Union was actually on the side of America and France and all of that. And they were having their own Holocaust that we just ignored and we were fine with because they were helping us. And one of the worst things about this is that these camps weren't shut down until the 60s. The war ended in 1944. That's almost 20 years later. We just let this happen. There was a whole other Holocaust going on during this time and we just let it happen. Alright, so those were 6 of my favorite World War II historical fiction books, but if you would like some recommendations on some nonfiction, some autobiographies, let me know in the comments down below and I might make another video. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated, and have a fantastic day. Bye!